back in Melbourne again to talk to a very special local Perth guy. He's still Perth guy, even though he's in Melbourne. Rove McManus, welcome to the couch.
Is this going to be on TV?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Good to see you, Fred. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Really?
I am
you
very
bought
good.
donuts.
I did.
The exchange rate's very good over here,
There
isn't
was
it?
24, but now there's only 12.
We like
There's
that.
a long wait in the car park.
So what have you been up to since we last met?
Apart from wiping sugar off my mouth. We do a
Oh, you meant to
show
ask the
called
questions,
Couch.
aren't you? Sorry.
Yes, I was going to ask you, because it's been a while since I saw you, a couple of years ago, but you've been off TV for 5 months.
Yes.
How does it feel being back in TV after all that time?
Well, the first episode was strange. That felt... I felt nervous for the first time in a long time because we've changed studios, we changed time slots, we changed night, we had a new format, and I came back, especially after so long away, thinking this doesn't really feel like home base anymore, and hopefully I can still do this. And then that first, I've never really felt nervous or awkward, but that first walking out for that first show, I came out just not really knowing what to do.
Like that being in a new school sort of feel, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I had a horrible dream the night before that I turned up naked.
Did you? Oh, well,
True
you nearly
story.
did the other
True
night.
story. Not really, but then the first laugh came and I was fine after that.
The new format, the new look, why was that? What pushed you to change the show a little bit?
Well, I mean, we try to do it every year anyway, and the year going into 2006, we had changed the show drastically. We had house bands and 250 or something like that in the audience. So it was a very big, almost arena spectacular kind of feel, like Grease the musical. Or any musical, anything that's got an exclamation mark at the end of it. Like Grease, it's not just Grease, it's Grease! Miss Saigon should have an exclamation mark at the end of it. I think that'd be great. What are you off to see tonight? Miss Saigon! So this year we decided that we really wanted to change the show properly because we were worried that maybe we tinkered with it too much last year. Yeah, we went back to basics and just went, okay, the brief was let's put Rove Live, the TV show, to bed. Let's say that was it. It ran till 2006 and that was it. And now let's start a new show that's from 07 onwards. And basically the brief was if we were trying to make a show that would be up against us, what would we try to do to make it look new and fresh and interesting? Sunday
night's definitely a hard gig, but I think you guys have mastered it because there's nothing on Sunday. Everybody goes back to work on a Monday morning.
There's absolutely nothing.
Is it
on
nice
Sunday.
to relax?
Nothing. Like there's no television, and then at 8:30 we start.
But all you've got's American stuff, and it's so awesome to have Australian.
And Big Brother. Who wants to watch Big Brother?
Well,
you?
No, not really.
Do you watch Big Brother?
No, I don't.
Neither do I.
To be honest
Proudly.
with you, I
Hello.
don't.
Cheers. Thank you. That was the big thing when they said you want to move to Sunday nights. I said, does that mean we have to have Big Brother evictees on? And they said, no. I said, lock me in, Eddie.
Well, talking
and
about
then realised I'm at the
variety,
wrong network to say
where
that.
has it gone? You mean, apart from yourself, and I mean, it's not an ego thing. Apart from yourself, there's no one else that does.
It can be an ego thing. It's okay.
Well, I'd like you to be a bit egotistical if you can.
I don't know. It used to be the night for staying in to watch television, and I guess that's what we looked at when Sunday night was offered to us, because we thought, well, look, it's an alternative to everything else that's on, and for what you want to wrap up your week, to finish to milk the last of your weekend, which also then dictated what the feel and the energy of the show was going to be. So it seems like it's slotted in really well, and we're doing a lot better than everybody, including ourselves, thought we would.
What is the story with that? Because we in Perth, we hear in the paper Rove's ratings, this Rove. What decides? Is it just ratings that decides whether the program lasts, or have you got a commitment to it for a certain period?
I mean, we get contracted for a certain amount of time, but that doesn't mean if you're rating poorly that you don't get the chop. No network is going to pay money to keep a show on air that's not working.
Do you think it comes a point where the networks have to say it's Australian? It may not rate as well as American cheap stuff, but we need to commit to Australian stuff because we've got enough viewers that support it?
I reckon they should just do that for every show. Yep. I reckon Australian or otherwise. I mean, there's some programs that are given 2 weeks to work, and if they don't, they're out like that. So I think it's just about a network needs to have faith in whatever show they're putting on. If you're going to put it to air, stick with it, because viewers aren't stupid. If you move it into a different time slot, everybody will know it's because it's not working.
All right, next question about your crew that you've got, and I'm talking about your on-air crew.
Don't make
Pete,
Harry, boring,
Hamish
Carrie,
and Andy.
Mole, upper self,
Hamish and Andy?
gay.
Oh my, I thought that when I saw them naked on your show. the taste had gone.
David Hughes, a woman.
David Hughes is another. Why the change of character? I think they do really well. Pete, especially with his space. I'm waiting
Ryan
to appear
Shelton?
on his. Yes.
It's all fake.
Where have all the
he has
people come
alopecia.
from? Why the change of team, on-air team? You've got a set team now, which is really good.
Well, this is something we've been trying to do for a while, for years. We've been trying to find a format that would allow us what we would call regular presenters. So you've almost got a core cast that you play with. Now, in the past, that was, going way back, it was Pete, Corinne and Dave Callan.
Yep.
And then year by year, people were coming and going. And then last year, it was just down to me and Pete, and Carrie would do the news. But even then, the format wasn't right to really allow anybody to play. And then obviously we've got Hamish and Annie that we've been working with quite a bit anyway. Dave Hughes is a really good friend of ours. And so it's one of those things we just managed to find a way to fit everybody in that allows everyone to have their own little moment that they present.
Like a family now, doesn't it?
It's an ensemble feel, which is really good, and then it's not so weighing so heavily on my shoulders.
And I love how they stick around. They stick around now for the whole show. And
For so long we get all these great moments that happen backstage with everybody in the green room. How on earth do we replicate that on air? And we tried everything from actually sending a camera out the back, with Pete doing interviews in the green room, and then eventually we just said, why don't we just drag the green room onto the set, put a couch on there, so you come out, you do your bit, and then you stay around. So the hope is that people want to stay around for the end of the show, because that's when the good stuff happens. That's when they've done their official piece, where they've had to plug what they want to plug, and then they start to play, which is kind of what we've had the last couple of weeks.
I think it's working for us. I love the family feel. Question for you from Perth people. They've asked me to ask this question.
All of them?
The whole 17.
Did you get them all together in one room?
All the Access 31.
And they all agreed on the same question?
Yes, they did.
What are the odds?
Well, I think it's pretty 90% correct accuracy here, but what's happened to it? They all say, ask Rove why he got rid of what the?
Not enough fruit-shaped like genitalia anymore. So we just went, well, how's this going to survive? No, as part of shelving what we had before and in starting all over again, we said, okay, if we're going to start again and we want the show to be different, how do we make it look different? How do we not just give it new titles or a different set? And the first thing someone said is, don't have what the. If you don't have what the in that first episode, everyone's going to go, well, this isn't the same old show. So we took it out, and also because it was a crutch that we'd relied on for quite a while, where we kept saying it'd be great to find another segment that hits as well as that does. But you're never going to find that if you still have the segment that works and that is in there every week. How do you let something else come in and have a shot?
So it's shelved at the moment?
It's shelved, and once the teething process is worked through and everyone gets used to the fact that it isn't there, I think you'll find that we have found the show doesn't really need it anymore. It might come back in a different form later on.
Recognise and like the new stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I love your It Takes You, I think it's called.
Yeah, It Takes You. Warning signs we're trying. There's, we've got enough segments with Hamish and Andy, and Hughesy Loses It, and Ideas, and Pete Space, and I mean, there's already so many elements anyway.
Am I right in saying the network says, Rove, stick to your time, don't go over? But I noticed last week that went back to a little bit later than normal, which is good.
I think the week we just finished, I mean, we're starting a bit later as well, because depending on what happens with Big Brother, and the same thing will happen with Idol when you're live, that's the nature of the beast. But the first couple of weeks we came out on time, and not because we intended to. I mean, we always intend to, but normally you get to the end of the show and just go, oh my God, we're 15 minutes over, what happened? But I think because the show's, there's a structure to it, but it's not so overbooked that if something goes a minute over, it just keeps backing up, and then the next segment goes a minute over, then you're 2 minutes over, and by the end of the night, there's half an hour you didn't have.
You're lucky at Channel 10, they let you finish the show at 31, they just cut it.
Let's pull the plug. But because there's so much of the show that's just fluid and conversational, well, you can just say, let's make this chat a bit shorter and we'll catch up.
Yep, sounds good.